Hello Year 8, this is Miss Murdoch from the English Department again, and I'm here to take you through the next lesson in your series looking at the Chaucer Tales and the idea of pilgrimages. What I want you to do for your first activity today, hopefully you've got your pen and paper in front of you, is to think about places that are important or significant to you and why. Each individual will have different places, obviously. It could be as simple as going to your nan's house is significant because it means you get to spend time with her and she cooks you your favourite meal, and that might be really important to you. So think about places like that. I'll give you a little bit of time to do this activity, so take a few moments to have a think, and pause the video here. Okay, so today let's have a look at our learning outcomes. Basically, we are going to be continuing the idea of being able to communicate our ideas clearly. And the way we're going to do that today is to think about creating our own pilgrimage. And obviously that will once again develop our writing skills. Okay, to help with our work today, we'll have a quick recap on what is a pilgrimage. Can you think again about what a pilgrimage is? Basically, it's a journey of spiritual or moral significance, and that in medieval times was quite important. People were encouraged by the church to make these journeys, these pilgrimages, to religious shrines. It was thought if people prayed there, they would actually be forgiven of all their sins, which would allow them to go to heaven. It was also about the belief that possible religious places or shrines could actually cure sickness. Do you think people still go on pilgrimages today? And if so, where would you think they would go? So we know a pilgrimage is a journey or search of moral or spiritual significance. Where do you think people could go on a modern day pilgrimage today? So what I want you to do is do a mind map. Think about pilgrimage destinations. It could be places where people used to go previously, many hundreds of years, and still go every year. It could be a modern day place that you know of where people go. And one of the things about a pilgrimage nowadays, probably in modern times, is it's more about a place where you can free your mind, leave all your gadgets, all your mobile phones and your computers and everything else, and just get away from the modern world. So have a think about that. Think about possible places you might go, and we'll come back to that. I'll give you a few moments to do that, and I'll come back with some of the ideas that I came up with. Okay, so some of the things I've put down on my mind map are Mecca, which is obviously a place for Muslims in Saudi Arabia to pray, and still they go there and have been going there for many hundreds of years. A more modern day equivalent actually goes back to history, is Stonehenge, where it's more a pagan religion, but every year on the summer solstice, 10,000 people gather around the stones. The River Ganges in India, where people actually drink from the water because they believe if they drink from the water, that will almost wash away their sins and their illnesses. What about Mount Everest? To someone, that would be a pilgrimage. That is about going on a journey, and spiritually, which is all about self-discovery and personal achievement, if you climbed Mount Everest, that would obviously give you a huge sense of achievement. Okay, so thinking about what you've been writing down on pilgrimages, thinking about modern day pilgrimages, the old pilgrimages, and the reasons people go on. What I want you to think about is now a place where you could go, where you could leave the modern day world behind you, where you could leave all your gadgets, and how could you convince people, persuade people to come with you on your pilgrimage? So you know that when people go on pilgrimages, certainly in the olden days and even in the modern days now, tens of thousands of people go. So how could you, with your advert, persuade people to come with you? So think about all your different language devices. Think about maybe pictures that you could use. Certainly include when you want to do it, how many people could come with you, what is the purpose of your pilgrimage. Really encourage people. So I want you to use your creative skills and your expert writing to come up with a fantastic advert which you will be able to send through to your teacher. Pause the video here. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed putting together your advert. But what I want you to do now is look back on your advert that you've just produced and tell me, can you identify where you've used any of the persuasive techniques listed below? Remember I said about persuasive language? So things like alliteration, where you've got two words with the same initial letter, like weekend warriors. Exaggeration, have you really made a point? Have you said there will never be another journey like this, for instance? Simile, metaphor, rhetorical question, repetition, commands. If you haven't got any of these techniques, what I want you to do is look back on your advert and I want you to just add an example to your work. And for an extra challenge, can you add to the bottom, can you name one other persuasive technique that you've learned in your past learning? Okay, well, I hope you've enjoyed this lesson today and we will see you at your next lesson. Thank you, Year 8.